Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I wanted to talk about the natal aspects Mercury, Trine, or Sextile Neptune. And I'm finishing off my Mercury Neptune natal aspect series. I've done all of the other major aspects, and yeah, I'm excited to do the easiest aspect, the flowing aspects. And, it really is similar. You can still see with the trine some of the negative qualities, or with the sextile, even some of the negative qualities of, say, the conjunction or the square, but it's more likely that the person has a more ease and flow energy with the two planets. So, what I've found with these aspects is there's a very ethereal or dreamy level to communication. Now, if this is occurring in earth signs, it's a little bit different. Then there's kind of a magical energy to do with like business or money or stocks or something like that, and they can have quite a keen like psychic perception and insight into like the best investments to make, like in the stock market, especially if earth signs or the second house or the eighth house are involved. You could really see a gift for that, like predicting trends and things like that. But usually the flow of communication with people with the trine is going to be the most strong, but the sextile, they're able to activate this kind of like at will, whereas the trine, like, it's very natural. It's not avoidable. It's like it just comes out of them. They have a very poetic way of speaking. And this can really soften other aspects that they maybe have to Mercury, where they can actually, be more soft and kind, or even psychic or perceptive, that can really like tone down some other aspects that they might have that are more harsh. So this is kind of like a soothing aspect in a way. But on the other hand, it can also, like, let's say if there's other aspects to Mercury that are quite harsh, this can lead them into some more delusional states, or even like paranoia and like anxiety states, because the mind is so open to energies and to other people's energies in a psychic way. And especially with the trine, it's like they're just kind of born with this, and they don't realize why they're getting all these impressions from people in the world, and that can lead them to thinking that they have anxiety, right? When it's actually just like spiritual awareness and emotional insight into other people's fields, and that, without proper tools, can actually lead people with the trine even to really being quite confused or muddled in their thinking. Or if there's other aspects, you could see even them becoming, kind of sort of delusional, or, in whatever belief system they become engulfed in, they kind of like can take it on and sometimes become very biased in thinking. Now, that's not going to be seen every single time, and I do want to emphasize these are the flowing aspects, these are the easy aspects. But even with the easy aspects, when we have Mercury and Neptune that don't really naturally work together, right? Like, think about Mercury being in detriment in Pisces, right? So you could kind of say that like all Mercury Neptune aspects are not very easy. Even the trine, even the sextile, although these are the easiest to deal with, yes, it's still not easy for being in this world and dealing with, certain like 3D things. But then there's keen insight into, people and emotions and deeper things in life. There can also be an interest in like history, or like the family lineage, especially if the fourth house is involved. That's something that I've seen with this aspect as well. There's sort of like definitely an interest in things of the past, and just stuff that other people aren't necessarily thinking about. People with the Mercury trine Neptune or Mercury sextile Neptune are like right up in there and having an interest in. There can also be a profound healing and gift and talent for music. or art or poetry. And there's a lot of artistic ability that unfortunately is often missed because, especially with the trine, it's kind of a lazier aspect. So you want to really, like, if this is your child or someone you have an influence on, you want to push them into developing their artistic gifts and abilities, or their psychic gifts and abilities, because this can kind of be something that they just have without using. And the sextile is more likely to be used because it's a more active aspect. But you want to really encourage yourself or others that you know with these aspects to do something with music, or do something with art, or do something with writing, creative writing, speaking. There's a very creative side to you, and that'll be more shown too by the sign and the other aspects and the house placements of Mercury and Neptune. But that creative ability is just often overlooked in the trine aspect, and it's really pronounced here, and it's really one of your greatest gifts with this, along with your psychic perception and your insight into people and your insight into whatever is being shown by the Mercury sign and the Neptune sign. So in water earth is actually really nice, but specifically a trine in water is going to be more like emotional gifts or emotional intelligence, or being that person who says the emotionally soothing thing to someone, or if there's other hard aspects to Mercury, the emotionally hurtful thing to someone. So yeah, the trine in water is going to show like an emotional energy. The trine in earth, like I said, further emphasizes that like financial energy, or stuff to do with the body, or, you know, the physical realm, the earth signs, right? Career, stuff like that. In fire, it's going to be the inspirational voice, right? Like where you're that person, that motivational speaker, and you're able to like say that healing thing to someone at the right time. And in air is going to be a gift for connecting people, and you know, really like being able to network and kind of, yeah, exactly, be in the right place at the right time. And that's saying, you know, I'm in the right place at the right time is kind of very much a Mercury, Neptune, trine, or sextile thing. They just, because Mercury is like your day-to-day, like what you're doing and stuff, like you know, your day-to-day habits and routines and stuff. That's all like third house in Mercury. And so people with Mercury, trine, or sextile Neptune just kind of happen to be in the right place at the right time, saying the right thing to the right person. And so you could say that they're lucky. You could say that they often hear the right thing at the right time too. It's not just that they're always speaking it, it's that other people that they interact with or they meet with say the right thing to them as well. And they can often be very receptive to healing. My dad has this aspect as one of the closest aspects in his natal chart. It's a trine between Mercury and Neptune in water signs. And I always looked at this and studied this, and Mercury and Neptune, or Mercury and Mars, are also conjunct, and there's a whole mess of other aspects going on to it, but the Mercury-Neptune trine is the closest. And my dad is very social and outgoing, although he considered himself to be extremely shy in his younger years due to anxiety and stuff like that. But in his older years, he's, you know, the kind of person that he'll talk to everybody. They're in the third house, and he'll talk to anybody about anything. But he's also extremely lucky. And in like gambling and stuff like that, you know, picking the right number or poker or slots, or, you know, he's had more success in gambling than anybody I've ever heard of. And you know, it's sort of third house related stuff too, because he's very like spur of the moment, like let's go here and let's do this, and it's never a plan, it's always a last minute sort of thing. And you know, he's not a very spiritually aware person by any means, and he's an Aries sun, so he can be quite abrupt. But often there'll be things that he'll have said to me over the course of my life that really hit home and really like struck me deeply in a very spiritual way. So I do think that sometimes effortlessly people with this trine and the sextile, of course they have the capabilities for it, will just channel like something that is very inspirational or very healing for the person they're with in the moment. Like they're just able to kind of be that vessel of healing words for someone at the right moment. And also it's like they can utilize this more if they were aware of it. Like, so it's important to like bring awareness to the fact that you have these aspects, because you might not know that you're this voice for healing, right? And you can also use it to heal yourself, and you do have this deep insight and awareness and like psychic awareness of like what you actually need to do to heal. And it's really quite profound how natural these people can be at just, like I said, saying the right thing at the right time. Like, and it can be very healing to be on the receiving end of that. And then also, they're very receptive to healing. Like I said, like it can take just like, for example, like what would take someone else many healing sessions or whatever to really get into the energy and move stuff around. As an energy healer, I always talk about healing too, right? But like with someone with Mercury, Trine, or Sextile, Neptune, you can kind of get in there with less effort and less time, and you're able to really bring the energy in, because it's almost like there's no block. Like they're just very receptive to what is healing, and like a little bit of meditation or like a little bit of like spiritual study can really go a long way with these aspects, where you'll see with the hard aspects, like potentially, maybe more activity and more studying of different spiritual concepts and energy things and things like that, but then potentially getting lost in many rabbit holes, where with the Trine or the Sextile, it's like they're able to really pick the right thing and like not require as much study even to like fully understand the concept. But then also there can be mental laziness of things that are not activating for them. It's like they almost cannot read the book or do the course on something that is boring for them, and so they'll find like an easy way out or like an escape. So that's kind of a difference too between the easy aspects and the hard aspects. Is like the hard aspect, there's more energy and more challenge, but the easy aspects, it's like they just cannot be bothered to study the subject that's not interesting to them. And like that could actually show up as like ADHD symptoms in a way, because it's like, well, our energies are flowing for the things that we're interested in and passionate about and gifted in, but the things that we're not, it's like can't even deal with that, like unless there's a Mercury Saturn aspect or something, right? So they can definitely appear to be kind of Piscean or Neptunian in a way, very interested in music and the arts, although not necessarily making a career out of it, because like I said, the laziness can sometimes happen. But they are very gifted in these realms, and that is something that should be explored and given time to really blossom. Because I do see like the highest energy of this aspect is like speaking healing truths, or even singing, or even writing, or music, or poetry, or something like that. And these words or these sounds or this art is like healing for humanity, and that's like the ultimate highest purpose of these aspects, is like being that vessel for truth, for light, and profound healing that you are open to receiving, and then also letting that flow out and give to others. So it's kind of like a natural spirituality without realizing that you have it when you have these aspects. Now the Sextile is going to be a bit more active. You're a little bit more aware than the Trine people, but it also is less effortless. You do have to kind of consciously like turn on the gift, where the Trine is like just the easy flow, and the giftedness is just running through you. But yeah, I'd love to know your experience of these aspects. If you have either of them in your natal chart, I'd love to know, how has it been for you? And I love you guys. Thank you so much for your requests. Keep those requests coming, and we'll talk soon. Bye.